Okay, so I'm going to go through your four pieces. I would suggest that we do the minuet first, all right, in the programme. I think it's better to start with the minuet. I don't know which is traditional English, it's 1651, but probably doesn't matter really. You don't have to do music in chronological order. That means the order in which it was written by year. But I just think maybe to start with the minuet is a nice way to start the programme of the four pieces. So minuet is coming along. You probably need to give this one a bit more attention because it's the last one you've learnt, to make sure you're really happy with it. Try to just go a little bit quicker and make sure you're using the dynamics. So very quiet, very gentle to start with. Then forte. Then piano again. Sorry, that's because I'm talking. Then loud again. At the last bar and a gentle finish. That'll be a nice finish if you do it like that. I did make a couple of mistakes because I was talking. I don't know if you noticed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth bar I put an extra note in, like in bar 13. So apologies for that. Okay, so just that little bit quicker, trying to keep it flowing and moving and do those dynamic contrasts in the music. Then next we'll do the Parson's Farewell. Now this I think needs to go quite a bit faster. It needs to be lively, it needs to be like a dance, it needs to be joyful and happy. So if it's too slow, I think it sounds a little bit more of a dirge. So we need to bring up the speed a little bit more, and again those dynamic contrasts, okay? Okay, so hopefully you got the speed of that, you heard the dynamic contrasts in it. The writ at the end, I would start it even a little bit earlier. And then, if you can, it's a little bit of a musical effect, just hesitate before you play the last chord. So play it a little bit late, if anything. It's a nice effect to put to the end of the music. And then give it a good firm play, all right? So it's like a very proud finish, okay? And then release your hands neatly. Okay, then the swing, I think the speed of the swing is absolutely fine. Now you need to make sure that you position your stool back. So move it back, sit on the edge of the stool, all right? And then make sure that your heel is on the floor, all right? I apologise, I've got fluffy slippers on. Let me take my phone off here. All right, got me fluffy slippers on. Okay, so hopefully you can see my foot. My heel is on the floor and the ball of my foot is on the pedal. Can you see that? Okay, you don't want to do that. You really want to avoid that if possible. So if you've got long enough legs now, you can get your heel on the floor, put a shoe on, right, not a slipper like this, but don't do it in socks, right, because it will slip. And then push with the ball of your foot so that you're pivoting on your heel. So that when you come to play the pedal at the end, you press it down, hold it, and then release it when you finish the notes in the with your hands, okay? But you need to have positioned yourself before you start playing this music. So there will be a slight stop when you do your recording, all right? Just a little pause in the recording so that you can do that. I don't mean stop the recording, but the examiner will be quite happy just to wait for you to readjust yourself. Okay, so now I've got my foot positioned on the pedal. I'm going to play through swing. Okay, so notice how neatly I finished my hands and the pedal at the same time. Okay, I may have gone a tiny bit fast, I'm not sure. We need a little bit of rise and fall in this music. So it's all about the right hand. The left hand should be very gentle. Be careful with your thumb that you don't hit the thumb too heavy. Diminuendo before you do your jump. Okay, so I'm going to add a few little dynamics in here. We're doing a little bit more of a rise and a fall, a rise and a fall. Maybe a little bit more there, and then try to finish piano before you do that jump. So da 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 dum. Da, 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 you see what I'm doing? So I'm going louder and then gentle on the last note. Da da dee da 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 da. Okay, so I'm just crescendoing a little bit longer there. That's a slightly longer tune. So I'm getting a little bit louder, but then I'm getting quiet. Then again here, although it's marked MP, that is the right hand, not the left hand. Again, do little dynamics. Da da dee dee dum, da 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 dum. Okay, so each time you come down the end of little tunes, end quietly. All right. Then maybe a little bit more here, and then quieter there. All right. And then one thing we picked up in the lesson was make sure the left hand, when it goes right down the bottom of the piano, is quiet. Okay, the right hand is a bit louder, but the left hand is quiet. And you've got this writ here. I think I started it sort of about here. So I don't start it straight away, but I started it probably about here. So I'm going to put writ there in that bar, all right? And it gets slower, but it does get louder to the end, right? It's a bit unusual. Quite often we get slower and quieter, but this time we're getting slower and louder to the end. Okay, so listen again to that one and just listen out for those dynamics. Now when you've finished, you move your stool back again, all right? I only had it back just for that one piece of music where you use the pedal, all right? So again, you take your time, you move your stool, make sure it's in the right position, don't rush anything. Okay, then we've got detective. So detective, again, I think we mentioned about you've got some markings in your music. Again, as the notes go up and fall, we just go up in our dynamic and then drop down again. Da 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 dum, ba da 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 dum, and maybe a bigger one the third time. Da 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 dee dee dee. I'm not singing it in the right key. Okay. One things I don't think you've got in your music are these two here. Where the scales go up, we're going to crescendo as we do that. Like that. So you might have to start the first note a little bit quieter so that you can crescendo, all right? But then again, we use these rise and falls. Okay, I'll play it better when I'm sitting properly. Okay, so let's play this one through as well. A little bit more on this next line. Big crescendo. So hopefully you heard those crescendos. Okay, now do a break and just wait a second before you start. My finger's wrong. Now, left hand much quieter. Okay, so when I'm talking I tend to go wrong a little bit. So hopefully you heard the little rises and falls there, the big crescendos up there. Just take a little time before you go into the last line. Just hesitate slightly, like we do, or I suggested you do in Parsons Farewell. All right, it's just little effects that put in the music that add to sort of the tension or the mystery, as this music is, in the music. It really adds to the expression of the music, which is so important. All right, then you bring the right hand up a little bit louder for a short time before it goes quiet again.